Hello, my friend. So in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to GitHub. All right, so what is GitHub? Well, basically, it's a service that's going to let us set up hosted repositories, or as they're known, remote repositories. So it means that our repositories are stored online by GitHub. So anybody with a computer and internet access can go and see the repository online, and they'll have access to the code in it. Now, this helps to work effectively in teams on a project, as well as many other uses you may or may not be familiar with. So for our purposes, let's just imagine that there are 6 developers. We've each got our own computer, and we all want to work on a project together. So we've decided to set up a repository for this project online in GitHub. And we have this kind of central repository which can, well, hold, and then we can all access from our own computers. Let's say we're all on laptops, right? We're not on a network. And then we can clone this repository onto our own computers. That way we'll have a local version of this repository. Then we can all work on whatever code at the same time. So then imagine that one of our developers starts to develop a new feature. So they develop it locally on their computer in a local version, their own local version, right, of their repository. Then when they've finished that feature, they can push that new feature into the hosted repository to update the code right there, just like that. Merge it to the master branch in this repository. So then right after that, these two people, well, they can take a look at this code and say, hey, okay, I'm going to pull that code from the hosted repository to update my local version. So then in this way, they all have the new feature on their local computer and will all stay in sync with the main code base. It's pretty cool, huh? So we can all collaborate on the project in this very same way. So that way we can all work on different features on our own computer and then push up that code, and then the other developers can just pull down the code, and then that's how we can work together as a team most effectively. So that means for you and for me, if we want to start using GitHub, then we do need a GitHub account. So that means you've got to go to github.com and create an account if you don't have one already. And you need to choose a username and type your email and password and click the button. Now, I'm not going to sign up because I already have an account. But after you sign up, you will see a page like this. Okay, so in here, what we want to do is make a new remote repository right in here on GitHub. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways of creating a repo on GitHub. First way is, let's assume that we already have a local repository or project set up on our local computer, and we made some progress on the project, and then we decide that we want to collaborate with the other developers. So in this case, we want to upload all of that code to GitHub to a remote repository so that other developers, basically around the world, I really do need to emphasize that, can view that code, download it onto their computers, and work on it, right? So it's not just about having a closed-off select team. So in this first scenario, assuming that we've already started a project and have a local repo, that's what you do. So what about this second case? We'll assume that we don't have a local repo. We've not started a project yet. So what we do is we can create the repo on GitHub and clone it to our local computer. So first, we'll create a repo on GitHub as a remote and then clone that to our computer. Now, typically, I think that it's the best option to create a repo on GitHub first, especially if you haven't started a project yet. Just start there. But I'll show you how both methods actually work in the next lesson. So we'll take a short break here and we'll come on back next time.